MA5 through the MA50 looking poor. MA100, 120 looking decent. Summary: strong sell. The RSA sell. The MACD sell. CCI sell. The highs and the lows sell. The UO sell. ROC sell. So all these technical analysis factors are saying that this is a strong sell actually, and we can see that the earnings does look good though, so that's one positive thing we have going for this company. We can see John Chorizo says who buy this, and when we are looking at e.l.f. Beauty, e.l.f. stock, we can see that the value and the health and also the future is looking pretty good. But the dividend in the past, these are the areas that are looking poor. Mostly it's looking like a healthy company in the sense that, see right here it says Snowflake description: fair value with mediocre balance sheet. And so we can see, we know that e.l.f. Beauty is a beauty company providing cosmetic and skincare products under the e.l.f. And when we look at this company's price history, we can see it's actually been decreasing. e.l.f. Beauty has significant price volatility in the past 3 months. We can see all of its competitors over here. We can see e.l. is looking much better, and we look at J&J, that's looking good. Procter & Gamble, not bad, but not as good as Johnson & Johnson. But they're all very similar. While e.l.f. Beauty sort of gives a different diversification. Now when we look at e.l.f. Beauty's value, we can see it receives a 3 out of 6. We can say that e.l.f. Beauty is about decent price right now. It's actually undervalued right now, so this is good news. So it's actually, if you want to buy it right now, now is a good time to buy it. Soon we're expected it to hit the $11.17 range. You can see 28.36% over here, and the share price is $8 versus future cash flow of $11.17. e.l.f. Beauty's share price is below the future cash flow value and at a moderate discount, greater than 20%. This is good. e.l.f. Beauty share price is below the future cash flow value, but not at a substantial discount. This is not that great, less than 40%. So when we look at the price based on past earnings, we can see that e.l.f. Beauty is good value based on earnings compared to the U.S. personal products industry average. We can look at the PE 20. It shows 24.1 times the industry we're looking at, the market. But when we look at the price based on expected growth, we can see the PEG is at 1.5 times, and e.l.f. Beauty's poor value based on expected growth next year. Price based on assets at a price based 1.7 times, and we see the e.l.f. Beauty is good value based on assets compared to the U.S. personal products industry average. When we look at the future, what does the future of e.l.f. Beauty have to say about this company? How is e.l.f. Beauty expected to perform in the next 1 to 3 years based on estimates from 6 analysts? We see that the expected annual growth rate is 15.7% annual growth in earnings. We look at the estimated growth in earnings. We see that e.l.f. Beauty is not as great as the personal products, but it's better than probably like something low risk. We see the earnings looking good, but the revenue growth, I don't know about that. It doesn't seem like it's doing too good. We look at the annual growth comparison. We can see that the actual is better than the estimated, and we can see the earnings is doing decent. We look at the past and the future earnings per share. We look at the we can see that the expected earning, the past and the future earnings in the future, it's not expected to increase by much. We look at performance in 3 years. The 9.4% return on equity. e.l.f. Beauty is not expected to efficiently use shareholders' funds in the future. Return on equity less than 20%. When you look at the past, we can see the past earnings growth over here. We can see that the e.l.f. during the 1 year is looking really poor. e.l.f. Beauty has delivered over 20% year-on-year earnings growth in the past 5 years. That's good. e.l.f. Beauty's 1 year earnings growth is negative. It can't be compared to the 5-year average. That's not good. e.l.f. Beauty's 1 year earnings growth is negative. It can't be compared to the U.S. personal products industry average. So we could see the revenue over here and the earnings and revenue looking decent. We look at the performance last year, 6.77% return on equity. We look at the personal products, the return on assets over here, 5.36%. We look at the return on capital, 6.66%. On return on capital, e.l.f. Beauty has efficiently used shareholders' funds last year. Has not efficiently used shareholders' funds last year. Return on equity less than 20%. e.l.f. Beauty used its assets less efficiently than the U.S. personal products industry average last year based on return on assets. e.l.f. Beauty's use of capital deteriorated last year versus 3 years ago. Return on capital employed. We look at the health of this company. We can see that the liabilities, when you compare it to the assets, we can see the assets is looking really good. e.l.f. Beauty is able to meet its short-term 1-year commitments with its holdings of cash and other short-term assets. This is good news. But when we look at the e.l.f. Beauty's long-term commitments, it exceeds its cash and other short-term assets. That's bad news. So when we look at the net worth equity, we can see it on the rise, the debt slowly on the decline. That's good. e.l.f. Beauty's level of debt, 65.6% compared to net worth is high, greater than 40%. That's not good. Unable to establish if e.l.f. Beauty debt level has increased without past 5-year debt data. Debt is well covered by operating cash flow, 37%, greater than 20% of total debt. interest payments on debt are well covered by earnings. EBIT is 3.3 times coverage. We look at the dividend, we can see that actually e.l.f. Beauty doesn't offer no dividends. What is e.l.f. Beauty's current dividend yield? Its reliability and sustainability. We could see that it's 0%, estimated to be 0% next year. Unable to evaluate e.l.f. Beauty's dividend yield against the bottom 25% of dividend payers, as the company has not reported any payouts. So now build to e.l.f. Beauty's dividend against the top 25% market benchmark, as the company has not reported any payouts. So we can see it has not reported any payouts. It has not been increasing as a company. The dividend volatility or the dividend payouts, you can see it's unable to calculate the sustainability of dividends, as e.l.f. Beauty has not reported any payouts. So we no need to calculate the sustainability of e.l.f. Beauty dividends in 3 years, as they are not expected to pay a notable one for United States of America. So we can't expect a dividend from e.l.f. Beauty, not anytime soon. So what is the CEO of e.l.f. Beauty's salary, the management and board of directors tenure, and is there insider trading? So actually, when we look at this company, this is the CEO right here, the CEO. Tarang Amin, he's 53 years old. His tenure is 5.2 years, compensation at 10.3.